Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. It is CoachFury here and we are back today with the latest episode of our Draft Day Sports Pro Basketball 21 Let's Play series, trying to rebuild the Chicago Bulls from a modern team that was in a sort of a rebuilding youth phase to hopefully trying to win a championship with them. And well, we are in our second season. It is now the playoffs, and for those of you who followed last episode, we'll certainly know that, well, we managed to get through the first round pretty much unscathed. So we are now in a nice situation where we are up against the Atlanta Hawks, and it's going to be a really interesting matchup, which we'll talk about in a moment. But we've got through against the Magic. That was a pretty convincing win in the end. We managed to pretty much win it with our good offense, to be honest, and our ability to play a bit of defense when we needed to. And it's no surprise that the likes of Brandon Clark and co pretty much got the job done for us in that one. So we face a completely different type of opponent now in the Atlanta Hawks, though. If we go over to their depth chart and we take a little look, you know, we are basically up against two juggernaut players in the likes of Trae Young, who is just a phenomenal scoring point guard, and the likes of Clint Capella, and, you know, no surprise, John Collins as well. So we've got sort of a three-headed monster to try and deal with here. And their supporting cast is not actually too bad. They've got some shooting, they've got some ability. You know, Bogdanovic coming off the bench with Levert. You know, they've got some guys who can kind of make a bucket when needed to. So it's going to be very interesting to see how we get on against this type of team, because it's going to be a little bit of a mismatch in terms of our strengths versus theirs. So, how are we going to play against this one? Well, I'm kind of mulling, to be honest with you, how we do this. If we go to the insights page of the Atlanta Hawks, we can see here they are ranked the worst defensive team in the league, but they are the best offensive team, and they are the best team from 3-point range. So we have an interesting challenge on our hands here, really, because they actually have a pretty well balanced team when you look at some of the shooting mechanics of how they match up. So we've got the likes of Trae Young here, who clearly, you know, he is basically a phenomenal shooter. I mean, there's no doubt about that. Even in the playoffs, I mean, he's shooting 50%, of which is 39% from sort of downtown. And in the playoffs, his 3-point percentage has dropped off a little bit. Maybe in the first round he was playing against a team that was actually pretty good at defending sort of beyond the 3-point line. And then we've got the likes of Collins, who is a good inside and outside scorer, to be perfectly honest with you. He's 60% shooting and he's 25% from 3 points. So he kind of can make a 3-point shot if needed to. So the interesting decision we've got here, obviously we've got the likes of Bogdanovic as well, who is a good shooter. I mean, everyone knows that. So we've got a challenge here. Do we go away from our defensive strategy, where we are pretty much playing passive? We're trying to reduce those pass entries and encourage more outside shots. And obviously, if we go to our office, you can see here we are playing a little bit of a heavy zone type of defense as well. Or do we try and go away from that and think about a different type of defensive strategy? And, well, to be honest with you, I think we're going to see how the first game goes and make adjustments from there. So, same with the rotation as well. I'm pretty comfortable with how we look here. I might possibly throw Jackson Jr. and swap these two guys around, just maybe because of the defensive ability. I'm just going to very quickly check how that looks. So we're going to go and have a little look. In terms of who I want defending the likes of Collins is kind of the question. So in terms of points allowed, shots faced, Jackson is a slightly better defender, but they're both pretty equal in that sense. So I might just leave that for now. You know, clearly Jack Carter Jr.'s stop percentage is not great, whereas Jackson's is far better. I'm guessing probably because of the fact that, yeah, he's a little bit taller, a little bit leaner. So I think I'll leave that for the moment. I'm just going to double check before I suggest we're going to do that, and just have another little look at the shooting stats of Collins and what his preferences are. So he is a post player. He's very much about, he doesn't drive a lot, so we don't necessarily need to stop drives against him. That's fine. Trae Young is very much a pull-up jumper, catch and shoot, and a bit of driving. Okay, so yeah, we're going to leave it how it is. I think we'll just see how those matchups go in the first game, and maybe we'll react to that. And the same with the defensive strategy. We'll kind of see how we go from there. Obviously, another thing that I'm considering, which I probably won't make adjustments to begin with, is just whether we give our starters more minutes and kind of try and burn them a little bit more. Because as you can see, we are playing them at pretty light in terms of minutes if you compare them to some of the other teams. But I don't actually mind that at this moment in time. So, first game of the series. We'll see how it goes. Obviously, as usual, if we get to any crunch games, we will stop and watch them. But we're at home against the Hawks in the first game. Can we hold home court? And we can't. We lose by 2 points. Oh dear, this is not a good start for our chances. Trae Young put up 61 points. Oh my goodness me. Okay, so that's just insane. I've not seen anyone put up that amount of points against me ever. We clearly our defense didn't play well. Neither did theirs. Our offense was actually really good. We were actually really well balanced there. But Trae Young is clearly just a man of his own. So we need to try and slow him down a little bit if we can. So in terms of strategy, you are going to go and mark Trae Young, perimeter player, Elfrid Payton. You are our best defender. I want you on him. Do we change this? That's the question really. Do we just go straight man to man? I think we do. I think we just go straight man to man. Because basically, I think actually we're going to go attack. The reason I say this is because we've been playing passive most of the season, where we just basically are allowing people to put 3-point shots up. Clearly we can't do that against Trae Young. We need to get out there and we need to reduce his 3-point attempts. And basically see if that works. If we can get him off the 3-point line, to be perfectly honest with you. So we go to game 2. This is crucial now. We need to at least split our home games. And we can't. We lose by 6. Oh dear. Oh dear. Okay. Clearly we are not slowing them down on offense. Trae Young with 43 points. Okay. Clearly whatever we're doing here is not working. Payton's fouled out. Yeah, okay. White didn't play, which is interesting because, he's injured. Okay. Right, we're going to have to really seriously think about this one, guys. I think what we will do is we'll ramp the zone up. We'll go strategy. I will just go straight man-to-man for this next one. I'm happy with how the offense has been. Happy with how that's been. We go into our away games now. We need to get this win. And we do. We managed to win by 20 in a crucial game on the road there. Huge win for us. Let's take a little look and see how that one's gone. So we win by 20. We slowed Trae Young down massively. That's much better. 9 of 20. We are forcing him to do a little bit less of the shooting and getting other players involved. Fantastic. So can we take home court away from them? We can. We've pulled the series back. Our minor adjustment in terms of trying to stop Trae Young from shooting 3-point shots seems to be working, and our offense is definitely thriving now, which is great. That's fantastic to see. So, means we bring it back home. Let's take a little look and see how the other games are going. The Celtics are up 3-1 against the Nets. That's surprising. I expect the Nets to win that one. The Jazz are losing to the Mavericks, which is probably expected, and the Suns, the number 1 seed, are beating the Pelicans. So, we go at home again. Can we beat the Hawks at home? Yes, we finally get that home win that we didn't get in the first set of games. It's a 10-point win against the Hawks. We are dominating in the paint, and we are definitely slowing Trae Young down. Clearly, he had a better night. He played every single minute pretty much of this game, but we got the job done. Payton is managing to stay in there a lot more than he has been. Our offense has been just so effective inside. That's awesome. That's really good. And we haven't had to make any adjustments to the rotation, which is great. Just some defensive adjustments. So we go into a 3-2 matchup on the road against the Hawks. We're of course going to watch this one. Can we get the job done on the road, or will we be going back home for that game 7? So this is how we line up. Clearly no changes for us and no changes for the Atlanta Hawks. Oh, actually, they've got one change. Bogdanovic has come in. They've put another shooter in there. He was coming off the bench. So they've put him in against Clark. Clearly, they're worried about Clark and feeling that they can stretch him a little bit on the offensive side to maybe get him in foul trouble. So can we get the job done on the road against the Atlanta Hawks? Key thing for us is in this entire series, I think, it's just if we can stop Trae Young. If we stop Trae Young, they're relying on the likes of Collins to do it for them. And so far, he hasn't been able to carry this team on his own. So massive. I think the thing that's going to be interesting is if we do not win this and we go to game 7, and if we do lose it, we're going to be ruining those 2 home games to begin with. But so far in this one, we are holding a very, very slim lead in this first quarter. We are slowing them down a little bit. Trae Young is shooting 2 of 5. So far we are managing to limit his actual ability, but they are closing in on the gap on us in this first quarter. We're up by just about 3 points at this stage. But Brandon Clark is having a great game. He's 3 of 4, I think, before he subbed out in the rotation there. As we get to the end of this first quarter, we are going to take a very, very slim lead to begin with in this one. We're up by 5, up by 3 now. Okay, so Trae Young is 4 of 11, so that's much better. We are forcing him into some more difficult types of shots that probably he doesn't necessarily want to take. But the Hawks are still hanging around in there. That's the key thing for them, is that they're hanging in there. They've got to basically find a way to win without Trae Young shooting very efficiently. And obviously we know Trae Young is not just a shooter, he is a phenomenal passer. As the Hawks take their first lead in this second quarter here, and we are starting to struggle now. Trae Young's shooting's becoming much better, 8 of 16 now. He's managed to find his shot and his rhythm in this second quarter as they're taking a slim lead now. We're managing to peg them back a little bit. Gary Trent Jr. is having a good game, 4 of 5. We need to definitely pull a stops out here to make sure we don't lose any considerable gap before the half. And we haven't. We managed to pull them back to just within 3 points at the half. Trae Young with 32 points though in that half. He did definitely have a phenomenal second quarter. That first quarter he was pretty atrocious. Let's have a look. So he's 11 of 20. He's 4 of 12 from downtown though. So, 32 points from him. He's pretty much going to try and hold on to this game on his own. We need to find a way to stop him at this point. As we go into the third quarter here, either team wanting to basically take a shot. We managed to get one, pull them back within 1, and we managed to take a bit of a lead here in the third quarter. Key thing here is just, as I said, it's just we've got to just make sure that if Trae Young's going to score, we can either at least peg him back. And I mean, so far we're managing to do that. In terms of their 3-pointers, they are 9 of 26. So obviously we are forcing them out to the line a lot more than into tougher shots outside than probably they're used to. But the Hawks are still managing to find a way. Trae Young is just having a phenomenal performance at this point. He has got 40 points now. He's 13 of 25. And he is pretty much carrying this Hawks team now. Can we find a way to just dig out and claw ourselves back into this one? But they have stretched the lead out to 10 points or so. And Bledsoe, I think, has come in. Our bench rotation is definitely in towards the end of this third quarter. And in comes some of our starters here. It looks like we've got foul trouble in the front court, though, because Williams is in there and Birch is in there, which is going to make it very, very difficult for us to try and pull this one back. The gap is now 14 points. We need a bit of a miracle at this point to try and pull this one back. Interesting that Williams is in there. I'm guessing they've got messed up front court as well. Both front courts seem to have fouled each other out. 13 points is the gap. Our main rotation has come back in now at this point. Can we pull it back? We're within 8 points now. Can we make it? Can we make a bit of a miracle happen here? 10 points with 4 minutes to go. I don't think it's going to happen. It's 7 points. It's 5. No, it's not 5 points. 15 points. 15 points now at this point. I think this one's over. We are going to a game 7. Trae Young has just had an absolutely crazy night. We couldn't get the job done. Unfortunately, the Hawks have taken game 6 and we go to a final decider in game 7. Trae Young with 55 points. Okay. We managed to stop him on 3-point line, but he just still managed to get to the line and kind of do the job on us anyway. So a couple of things I think I'm going to adjust for this one in game 7 is I'm going to probably put our front court back in a little bit earlier in this one. I will probably leave you there. I'm probably going to put you in here. So they won't play the first 2 minutes that fourth quarter, but the rest of that fourth quarter, that bench is certainly going to be coming in. Elsewhere, We do have Clark who's probable, but I'm going to leave him in. We kind of need every man who can play at this point. And he is certainly our star, so we're going to run him a bit hotter. Same with this front court. Going to run you guys a bit hotter. Same with Peyton. We just want these guys out there as much as we possibly can for this game 7. In terms of strategy, no surprise, Peyton's going to go and mark Trae Young. Do we make any adjustments to the zone defense? I think I'm pretty comfortable with how we're doing actually. We are at home. Let's see if we can get the job done. Game 7 here against the Atlanta Hawks. So they've readjusted their rotation. Bogdanovic is back out now. So it means Clark is against Hayata. That's going to be interesting. Interesting they've brought him straight in for this game as well. I thought they would have stuck with the team that won at home for them. But clearly it's not going to be the case. As they take a bit of an early lead here. We need some sort of good performance here. Williams is straight in the rotation. So I'm guessing that Clark hit foul trouble straight away. That's not going to help our chances. As the Hawks are taking a sizable lead here, pretty much putting us to the metal here in this one early on. We're down by 7 or so already. Yeah, okay, our small forward rotation has just been blitzed for some reason. I'm not sure why. Same with our front court, Birch is straight in. So we've hit foul trouble, I'm guessing, early on in this one, which is a bit of a concern, I have to say, as the Hawks have taken a pretty sizable lead in this first quarter. I'm not sure why that is the case. We'll have to have a look at that one at half time. But we are already down by 12, so that's a concern. Our bench is having to pretty much do a lot of the heavy lifting here at this point. We are still within 10 at the moment. We're clawing it back, but I'm not sure what's going on with our rotations now. We're 9 points gap as well. This is looking pretty dicey for us at this point. Down by 7. Yeah, okay, we're going to have to look at this one at half time because I mean, this rotation has just been completely destroyed. I don't know why. Trae Young's having a great night. He's 5 of 12. So we're not managing to slow him down. We are still in this though. That's the key thing to remember. We are still within 4. So we've still got a shot. We bring it back within 1. Our front court has come back in now. So I'm guessing we've taken a bit of a lead maybe. Yeah, we're going to have to look, see what the foul situation is like, because as soon as our actual rotation comes in, we are beating this Hawks team at this moment. But it's all tied at the half, 66 apiece. Yeah, okay, our entire starting lineup hit foul trouble, but so have theirs. They've got Capella and Collins in foul trouble. This is going to be very interesting to see how this plays out. And Clark didn't play. Okay, so Clark actually didn't manage to get in. He was probable, which means that Williams is having to play, but he's having a phenomenal night actually, to be fair to him. He is in foul trouble, but in those 17 minutes, he's actually managed to put up some shots. So that's not going to help our cases with Clark being out injured. That's a shame because he was probable, so I thought he might have had a chance of playing, but clearly that's not the case. That probably explains why Williams is in most of the time here, as we take a little bit of a lead here in this one. We need to basically make sure we get a bit of a lead before they hit foul trouble. And we've started to take a little bit of a gap here. 13 points now in this third quarter. Williams is having a phenomenal night. My goodness me. 7 of 11. That's probably one of his best shooting nights he's ever had in a Bulls uniform. So he's coming out when it absolutely counts. Gap is now 15 points. Trae Young is 8 of 21. He is having a bit of a cold quarter in this one. Now 9 of 23. That's exactly what we need him to do. But they put it back within 5. And this is going to be a close. This is going to go down to the wire. I can see it already. Our bench rotation has come in now to close out the third quarter. These first 2 minutes of the fourth quarter are going to be crucial because now we've got our bench in as they take a little bit of a lead against us. 5-point gap. Now the rotation should hopefully come in at 8 points. Why is our rotation not coming in? Why is our bench rotation not coming in? What's going on? Why have we not put our rotation in? Okay, this is a bit worrying. There we go. 6 minutes to go. That must have been foul trouble. We've now got to try and get a 10-point gap back for some reason. 8 points now is in it. 6 points. We're going to slow it down a little bit now at this point. 6 points with 3 and a bit to go. We need a bit of a miracle, which is a shame because we had such a lead in this one. The foul trouble clearly killed us. It's now 9 points in it. We need to make shots at this point. I don't think this is going to happen now, guys. 9 points. This is such a shame. The foul trouble's just killed us. And they make it. That's a 12-point game. I think this one is over. There's a foul there. And we pull it back within 10. We just need stops at this point. And they're just making shots. This is not going to happen. Oh, this is so frustrating. Foul trouble has killed us. 9-point game, 2 minutes to go. It's now just hit hope time. Hope we can make a stop. We just haven't been able to stop them. Trae Young has just had to come back in this fourth quarter and just made it happen. I'm going to speed this up. We're not going to win this one. It's not going to happen. 12-point gap, yeah. Oh, I'm gutted. I'm really gutted. Clark getting injured at a crucial moment, and I think what's going to come back to bite us. We couldn't slow Trae Young down as much as we wanted to. Foul trouble clearly killed us. Payton in foul trouble. Williams in foul trouble. I don't understand why Carter only played 26 minutes and Jackson only played 34. Oh well, we are out. We are out. Game 7 of the second round. We have been bumped out. Let's carry on here and see who wins the championship this year, and then we'll have a little bit of a recap. We might run a slightly longer on this episode. I'm just gutted. Those first 2 games, we should have made that adjustment a bit quicker. Maybe that would have got us the win that we needed. So let's sim the season. Let's see what happens. I honestly think if Clark had been healthy in that one, we'd have done enough. We'd have had another 20 plus points from Clark. That probably would have been enough to get ourselves over the line in this one, which is incredibly frustrating. I thought this was our season to try and win it all, but that's the way it goes sometimes. It looks like it's a Phoenix Suns Boston Celtics final, and it looks like the Suns have taken that one quite convincingly, 4-1 against the Celtics. And the Hawks got bumped out by the Celtics. The Celtics had a crazy good run towards the end there. As we go into the draft lottery, let's see how it goes. I don't think we have any lottery picks, which we do not. But let's just see how this one runs. So the number 1 pick is going to the Pelicans, which is interesting. I'm not sure where they've managed to trade that from. But main thing we really want to know about is we want to see the awards. That's the main thing at this point. So Trae Young MVP. It's not surprising. He had a crazy good year. Do we have anyone in the first team? We do not. In the second team? We do not. In the third team? We have no one in there either. Wow, okay. That's interesting. I didn't expect that. And we have no one in the defensive teams, which is not surprising. We weren't a very good defensive team this year. But we have no award winners. Wow, okay, I didn't expect that for a 53-win team. But that brings our second season to a dramatic close. I'm shell-shocked. I didn't expect that to happen. I thought we would have enough to get the job done. But that's the way it goes sometimes. In terms of next season, we've got a couple of key questions to ask ourselves. We've obviously got guys who we will need to try and bring back who are obviously restricted free agents in the likes of Carter Jr. and the likes of Jackson Jr. and team option for Elfrid Payton to consider. Oh man, this is frustrating. Well, maybe third season lucky. We might have a bit of a reshape. We'll certainly come back. We'll hopefully be better than last season. I'm hoping that our strategy in the playoffs will work and we'll get the job done. But, still forward progress. I know obviously last year we got to the Eastern Conference Finals, but in terms of our record this year and performance, it was much better overall as a package than it was in the first season. Interested to hear your thoughts. I mean, clearly we got trumped by Trae Young, to be perfectly honest with you. That was what did it in the end. The superstar of the Atlanta Hawks turned up and said, no, you Chicago Bulls team, you are not going through in the second round. And well, we're going to come back next time. We're going to rethink our strategy, maybe think about how we're going to take this Bulls team forward and see what happens in the off season, ready for the third season of this Let's Play series.